Hello learners, welcome to week 6 of Modern World 2. This week we're going to talk about how Germany was treated during the Treaty of Versailles and whether it set the stage for World War II. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so week 6 assignments. Checkpoint number 4, which we just talked about, did the treatment of Germany in the Treaty of Versailles set the stage for World War II. And again, please make sure you request the content assessments when you feel prepared. I have had learners do a couple of them already as they work through the different checkpoints, the different units. So just make sure that you're staying on pace with those. Okay, so the essential question we've been asking ourselves throughout this entire project is, how can peace lead to war? Okay, so you're going to start off, these are resources assigned to you. This is what I think is going to be most beneficial for you. Did peace lead to war document set? And you don't have to go through and do exactly what they say. They say, do yellow and blue and purple and green. But basically, what you're doing is finding evidence. The first one says, highlight evidence about how the Treaty of Versailles impacted German territory. So what happened to the land? Highlight evidence about how the Treaty of Versailles impacted Germany's economy. So look at, money, what happened with them. Then we look at their pride and confidence. Then we looked at the Treaty of Versailles was used to justify Hitler's goals with green, and evidence about how the treatment of Germany and the Treaty of Versailles led to World War II in orange. So you'll go through and try to find evidence, and then you can mark it with either the highlighter or you can write. So just kind of go through, and there's plenty of information for you to look through. Lots of documents, lots of places to write on the side. There's also a word bank, which is really nice, that you can look at and you can explain things in your own words. But it's broken down very nicely. So take your time with this. It's going to give you a lot of great information. Okay, now the other thing, when you're done, your argumentative claim, use a chart to outline your argumentative claim. So answer the question in one sentence. Peace cannot or can lead to war because, and then after you look at all these document sets and different things, you'll have an answer. And then what is the first piece of evidence that you have that says, peace can or cannot lead to war? And then you'll, give yourself an explanation. You'll go through this. And the next document is, did peace lead to war? You can go through, and there's just so many nice documents to help you organize your information. What you're going to submit to me, though, is an infographic using Canva. I'm going to explain how to do this, but you will use the documents provided throughout this project as historical evidence to support an argumentative claim responding to the compelling question, how can peace lead to war? You should use your argumentative claim outline. So like I said, you used a document set with lots of great information, and then you came up with an argumentative claim. Peace can or cannot lead to war. It's completely up to you. And then you're going to create an infographic using Canva. It's a really neat thing. I made one time, I made a certificate the one time, and it was really nice using Canva. So there's a lot of great things on there to create visual representation, not just writing. So this is going to be your final product, but step 1 is draft your infographic on paper. So get an idea of what you want to put down. Your infographic must include your argumentative claim, 2 to 3 pieces of specific evidence. You must include a graphic that supports each piece of evidence and an explanation. So how does your evidence prove your claim? This should go at the bottom of your infographic. So it's optional to include a graphic. It's completely optional. But step 2, go to Canva, start designing an infographic. You pick your layout and create your infographic using the toolbar. So you're going to have to mess around with this a little bit, but essentially, you'll have your claim at the top. Peace can or cannot lead to war. Then you'll have your evidence. Then you'll have graphic that supports each piece of evidence, and explanation of how does your evidence prove your claim. So this should go at the bottom of your infographic. So as long as you're following these directions right here, you're going to be fine. So how do you get on Canva? So it's just canva.com. You can do a Google search. When you're on it, you're going to see the templates. You're going to want to use infographic. Okay, so you'll click infographic, and this is where you can search. Okay, so you can go through, and there's education, process, business, timeline, which might work for you guys. So you can go through and you can mess with, like I said, I've never made an infographic on Canva. This is going to be a nice way to represent your information. Okay, and then your sketch draft or your infographic on a piece of paper. Consider how you can organize information. You could just get it done, and it says take a picture of your paper sketch here. You're going to have to use the final one as your final product. So if you want to submit a completed one, I can definitely do that for you and give you some advice, and we can maybe revise it. But some of you might just want to get it done. Some of you might just want to take a picture of your paper sketch and then submit it. Okay, you can copy and paste it into this assignment for checkpoint number 4. So completely up to you. I know this is a lot of information, but essentially you're answering the question, peace can or cannot lead to war because, and then you go through and you have your evidence, you explain it. And like I said, if you go through and you look at it, it's going to make more sense. But basically what we've been working towards this whole time is you gaining information on Germany, how they were treated, the Treaty of Versailles, and you'll go through and you'll look at all that information. Okay, so here's a little video clip here.
When World War I ended in 1918, the victorious Allied leaders wanted a treaty that would prevent another war. Unfortunately, the treaty they wrote helped provoke one. From the outset, the diplomats from England, France, and the US who met at Versailles to negotiate peace terms wanted different things, and Germany wasn't even invited.
At the Paris Peace Conference, the British and the French wanted revenge, and they wanted payment for the costs that they had suffered during the war.
It took 6 months to work out the details.
The British and the French got their revenge. They got the demands for reparations from Germany. Woodrow Wilson got his League of Nations, but it wasn't exactly the League of Nations that he wanted.
The reparation payments put serious financial strain on Germany, which also lost land. Many Germans ultimately saw the Versailles Treaty as an attempt to destroy their country.
The Germans were forced to sign the treaty. They felt it was utterly unfair, and it demanded much more of them than they should have paid. And secretly, they decided they would do whatever they could to undermine the treaty.
Eventually, after more dickering, all parties signed the Treaty of Versailles, calling it the Unhappy Compromise. Predictably, it didn't hold.
The Germans came away from the Paris Peace Conference and the Treaty of Versailles feeling that they had been put upon. In fact, they had started the war, but because of the unfair conditions of the treaty, the Germans felt that they were the aggrieved party, and they would nurse this grievance into the 1920s and 1930s.
A rising politician named Adolf Hitler channeled this resentment into German nationalism. Ultimately, the anger caused by the treaty helped provoke exactly what it had been designed to prevent: the start of World War II.
So I thought that was a great video clip on the Treaty of Versailles, just showing you again how even though they made peace, it was not a good peace. It was just an unhappy sort of compromise, as they said. So again, here's our course breakdown. So we'll slowly be finishing up the Treaty of Versailles. This keeps moving. It should be moving a little bit further there. I need an updated one here, but you are moving towards the end of the Treaty of Versailles. So I'm finishing up Project 1. Again, you need to master post-World War II there. Focus area. Here's where we are, did the treatment of Germany in the Treaty of Versailles, set the stage. So then you have your resources and your Google Classroom, of course. Keep up with that. Ask questions if you need it. Make sure you are attending all of your live launches for all of your classes and making sure our attendance is good and resubmitting low-scoring assignments. Okay, so if you have any questions, reach out to me. If not, have a wonderful, productive week. Thanks. Bye.